Right, solving systems of equations in three variables. Okay, down below I have a system of equations in three variables. Okay, three equations, three variables. I want to find out what x, y, and z equal. Okay, now if we look above here, if somehow I manage to get this looking like this, in other words, supposing I've ended up and I've managed to find out what, let's say what z equals, okay? If I know what z equals, I can put it into the second equation, the middle equation. If I know that, I'll be able to find out what y equals. And if I know what y and z equals, I'll be able to put them into the first equation here, and I'll find out what x equals. Okay. Now then, elimination by addition. How to solve these? If I look at these three equations, well, actually, if I look at the first two equations, I can see that if I add these two equations together, look at this. The y's will go negative 2y, positive 2y. The z's will go positive 3z, negative 3z. If I add the x's, 1x and 4x is 5x. If I add the integers on the right, 11 and 4 over here is 15. And therefore x equals 3. Great, I've already got one answer. I've still got to find y and z. Okay, so that's kind of the idea. But that was kind of easy-ish in a sense, because two of those equations immediately when I added them gave me an answer. So that's kind of nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it a little bit harder. Okay, so look at the three equations again. Same three. I've just kind of written them over here. Okay, it's just the same three equations. Now then, supposing I want to get rid of the x's. Okay, eliminate the x's, and I'll look at the first two equations. If I multiply the first one by negative 4, okay, and add it to the second one, then I will eliminate the x's. So here we go. Multiply this first equation by negative 4. Negative 4x, right, negative 4 times negative 2y, that'll give me positive 8y. Again, I'm multiplying everything by negative 4, the first equation. That'll be negative 12z. And finally, what's that? That's negative 44, okay? There you go. First equation multiplied by negative 4. Keep the second equation. Can you see why I've done it? The x's will eliminate. So I'm not going to change anything here. 2y, negative 3z, and that equals 4. Okay, if I add them together, x's will go, so I'll have 10y minus 15z, multiply 5, 15z equals negative 40. Okay, right, there, that is now an equation in two variables. I've got rid of the x's. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at equation 1 here and equation 3. I used equation 1 and equation 2 to get this. I'm now going to use equation 1 and equation 3. Okay, now can you see if I multiply this time, let me just erase this here. If I multiply equation 1 by negative 3, I'll get a negative 3x to go with this positive 3x. So again, I'm going to just put this right here. Okay, so multiply equation 1 by negative 3. Right, okay, so x times negative 3, negative 3x. Can you see that the x's will eliminate? Negative 2y times negative 3 is positive 6y. And the positive 3z times by negative 3z, negative 3, sorry, is negative 9z. And the 11 times negative 3 is going to be negative 33. Let me just erase this a little bit. So negative 33. Okay. So I just multiplied that first equation by negative 3, and I ended up with this. Okay. So I am now going to add these two equations together. Again, the x's will cancel. I'll have 9y. I'll have negative 10z, negative 1z, negative 9z, and I'll have negative 29. So I'm going to write this over here. 9y minus 10z equals negative 29. Okay, so now I have a choice now of either getting rid of the y's or the z's. I think the book gets rid of the y, but honestly it doesn't really matter. You know, I'm looking for maybe the lowest common multiple. So common multiple of 10 and 9 would be 90. 15 and 10 would be 30. So I think what I'll do is just different from the book. If you've got the book, you can look at the way they do it. I'm going to eliminate the z's, okay, just for something different. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this one by, I'm going to multiply by -2. You'll see why in a little bit. -2. That will give me 30z. I'm going to multiply the second one by 3. That will give me positive 30z. And we'll see how it goes. Let's have a look. -2. So, -20y. -2 times -15 is positive 30z. And -40 times -2 is 80. Okay, there you go. I just multiplied this equation here by -2. Now for this equation here by 3. 27y -30z. And now you can probably see why I did it. The z's will cancel. Now that's the hardest bit. Maybe something you might find is just trying to figure out how to eliminate it, what to multiply by so that one's a positive z, one's a negative z. In this case it's 30. And finally over here, what's that going to be? That'll give me 3, that's -87. If I add these two together, I will get 7y equals -7. Remember, the z's cancelled. So y equals -1. I have an answer. Okay. Now then, if y equals -1, you can stick it back into either one of these two up here. I think I'll stick it into the first one there. So 10y, 10 times -1 is -10. Again, I'm looking up here, still minus 15z. I haven't found out what the z is yet. So remember, I'm just looking at this here, this one here. And that equals -40. So I will add 10 to both sides. Okay, add 10 to both sides. I will have -15z equals -30. If I divide both sides by -15, I'll have z equals +2. Okay, so I divided both sides by -15 to get the z. Great, right, so I've got y and z. Okay, so I'm now going to go back up to the original 3. Okay, now maybe I'll go back to this clean paper here. So look, remember this? Have a look at this here. And remember, I already kind of showed you, I know what x is from a bit of a different method of doing it. I found that simple. But I'm going to use this first equation. So x minus 2y plus 3z equals 11. It's right here as well. Okay, x minus this one here. This one here. Let's see if you can hopefully see that. That one there. Okay. So, I don't know what x is, but so x, again, minus 2y. Y is -1, so -2 times -1 is +2. All I'm doing is substituting the y in. We know that z is 2, so 3 times 2 is 6. Again, I'm just using that first equation right at the very top there. That equals 11. So x plus 8 equals 11. You take away 8 from both sides, x equals 3. Okay, and there is all 3 solutions. But do remember how I tackled that one the first time around. I got x equals 3 straight away because that was a bit simple. But supposing they're not all simple and you have to do the long method of find out what one letter is, then the other one, then the other one. Okay, so there it is. That's it. Those 3 answers.